Okay. Okay. So Ursula,
Yeah.
what have you been working on?
I've been working on these paintings on pieces of wood. They're relatively small, and I paint with egg yolk and pigments. And I've been doing these kind of strange things. Some of them are inspired by okay, the wood I paint on has patterns on it, and some of the patterns are directive in terms of what I'm going to paint on it. And so I have one painting so far. It has a lady on it because the lady form was suggested by the patterning of the wood. And then I happened to be going to the same day to the Stonecrop Garden and ended up drawing a frog. And so then I came back to that painting, and now the lady has a frog.
Are some of them abstract?
And then there are some more recent ones are abstract now, which are inspired from architecture. Like I look at Indian Point nuclear plant, and then I made some strange simplified drawing, and I used that for some things.
For a shape.
Just the shapes.
Right.
And I use very strong colors, and it becomes really abstract.
Right.
So it's a kind of so it's a combination of what I see and then how I make it more abstract. But somehow so I have finished 2 paintings, and those 2 paintings have 2 elements in it side by side, like a couple. And so it's like based on leaves I've seen in a catalog where they sell you seeds for salad. So they're leaves of salad. So they became like a couple of leaves, and they're sort of holding each other on the side with whatever sticks out on the leaf.
Right.
And then there is another one which is really 2 times sort of like the shapes of Indian Point. And they are.
What is the shape of Indian? What's the shape of Indian Point? Because it sounds like something I'm putting in drawing.
I made it upright instead of down. I made it. I turned it on its side. It's basically. It's. You won't recognize it as that because I messed around with it and changed it. And so and everything is done in really strong colors.
But it's egg tempera?
What? Egg tempera.
It's egg tempera.
Yeah. And then
I've been doing ink drawings, just constantly drawing without even really looking at what I'm doing. I'm just doing them automatically so that I sort of reduce my anxiety about what's going on. And I've been getting sticks from the trees and then doing drawings kind of with a repeated shape that I stole from a drawing I saw by Al Taylor, and I've just been doing that drawing over and over and over and over again.
Wow, that sounds
which has been really great because you never know what you're going to come up with, and then you go back to them and see that some of them work, some of them don't. Some of them you go back into. But it's hard for me to finish what I've been working on in my studio because I just feel so distracted all the time. I don't have a great length of time that I can concentrate the way I used to before all of it happened, you know? So
I noticed sometimes these things have to hang around. And
they do, and then
else. And
I
then
found
you can
that,
kind of go back to it.
I know. I've been going through drawers of drawings that I did years ago and taking them out and reworking them.
Oh,
you know,
cool.
or adding collage elements to them or something. You know.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I've been just rejecting a lot of things. So
you know what?
I've been rejecting a lot of my attempts recently, and I have to stay with abstract shapes and with architectural shapes and
Yeah.
then I can kind of do it, even if they become like somewhat figurative, but they're not. And I
Right.
like that kind of combination. And I have never been able in my whole life been able to be loose. And I've always felt that was such a handicap that I can't do that.
I
It
think I'm
all
too loose sometimes.
it just always is very regimented and worked out. And I enjoy fussing with things. I do.
Detail. You're from
Not so much
Switzerland.
detail, but I kind of try to understand the structure and work with that and kind
Yeah.
of make it clear. I think clarity is what I'm after more.
I think I get too loose sometimes,
Uh-huh.
and I need to structure it. I have to rein it in a little bit.
I tried to be loose. I was doing trees, and I love trees, but I started hating them when I was trying to structure them and make them got too tied up in the specific.
You could start by pouring. Sometimes I started drawing by pouring ink or pouring paint.
Good. Yeah, right.
And that gets it very loose right from the start.
Yeah, that's great.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's good and it's bad this time for one's studio time, because you want to be out in the world and look at things some of the time. You want to refresh what you're looking at.
Yeah.
But I'm in my studio all the time doing things, puttering around, but I sort of consider it puttering sometimes more than really working.
Right. What I did today, I feel exactly what you're saying about you can't go out. Okay, so what I've been doing today, I thought, okay, I have a great idea. I'm going to take my camera and I walk around my house.
Oh, that's a good idea.
See if I can get some shapes from what's around it without looking at its specific function, but just kind of looking at it abstractly, like the way the pencils come out and the way these cards are in a mess, and the shape of the table works and stuff.
Ursula, did you ever see those photographs that Grace Knowlton did of the corners of rooms and things? They're really beautiful. And
I might have. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think what I saw of hers were sort of circular things.
Oh, she did a lot of balls, big giant.
Yeah, she did the sculpture.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think she was great because she had a really kind of tentative but specific way of working. And, and when she did the really big ones, I admired them, but I could not really have a feeling for it.
Oh, really? Are you talking about the sculpture or the painting?
No, the drawings. They were drawing.
Oh, yeah.
She had a big show at the Garnerville.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe I could see it now, but I couldn't then. I just couldn't get it.
I've taken my camera a lot in the last 10 years and just wandered around with it and gone to places like carnivals and things like that and take a lot of photographs. Then I print out lots and lots of pieces of paper with those photographs on them, and then I use them as collages. Just in collages, like the balloons from a carnival stand or something, and then I put them. And it's nice to be able to go out in the world and work like that.
Yeah, it's
with
great.
Your camera.
Right. So what I thought maybe I'll do with these, I'll print them out, and then I take tracing paper and I just trace the shapes, so that it becomes abstract.
Oh yeah.
So you can't really see what it is. It's just like I want it all to become just forms.
Yeah.
So that's
it's funny, that line. I think you and I both walk that line between abstraction and, I don't know, something representational.
Right.
I don't really think about it anymore. Sometimes there's something recognizable, sometimes there isn't, and I don't really think about it.
Right. Right.
So.
Yeah. So where does the feeling come in?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
Where does it come in for you?
Um, I think it comes in with the color, and it comes in um, a kind of when I get rid of everything else in a way, like get rid of what is for me predictable.
Uh-huh. I
Like,
think I'm probably much more involved with drawing than I am with painting. So if
right,
I had to say where the feeling came in, it would be a kind of graphic drawing. Because the
right,
things I do in ink on paper, I consider them drawings even when they have paint in them and collage in them.
right, right.
So,
Yeah.
so I guess that's the feeling. So with you, it's the color?
Yeah, it's the color and it's the gesture of the shapes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know, like I did all these river paintings, and they were basically just really what I saw and simplified, and the feeling got into that with the color and the sense of rhythm. And now I'm much
Uh-huh.
more conservative. I have this rectangle with something in it, and it's not
Uh,
expanding beyond the edges, and it's not, so it just sort of is. It's an object of sorts.
uh-huh.
And I guess
Hmm.
because I'm working smaller too, that does it too.
I'm working smaller now too because, I mean, I'm doing these drawings with ink drawings,
Uh-huh.
and they're almost like Rorschach drawings, you know?
So you fold them in half and then
No, I
double.
don't fold them in half, but I mean that they're just they're from my subconscious a little
Right,
bit.
right,
And that
yeah.
they're kind of
Okay.
things emerge, but you don't know what they are, but you could read them
Right,
differently.
right, right.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, I sort of do something similar with messing around with those forms,
Right, right.
and they kind of grow up on me
Yeah.
and kind of evolve. And sometimes I have all these things hanging, and I look at them, and then suddenly I see, oh, that's what that needs. Takes me
I
sometimes a
know.
long time
It
before
does.
you don't really look at it, but it kind of you recognize it in some ways. It's sort of two
Uh-huh.
different things. Like,
Yeah, I can get kind of stuck 3/4 of the way through something and then I just don't know what to do. So I'll just stick it somewhere in our house and
right,
see
so
it
it
later.
goes by surprise.
Yeah, if you come down
Yeah,
in the morning and you see it by surprise, all of a sudden you go, that's what it needs.
right,
And you do it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
that's good. Right.
yeah. Well, I hope we get to see everybody, see some shows sometime. We're in Garnerville now, and I never saw that show that's up in Garnerville now.
Well,
Did,
I saw it at the opening. I have
yeah.
a big painting there of the Alapna River. It's a river I flew over in a small airplane, which was following up, up, up the valley. And so
Uh-huh.
the, the, the beginning of the river looks big and majestic. And then as it goes up, the forms get more and more ornate and small.
Huh.
And so then I took photographs as the airplane was flying of each section. I just kept taking pictures, and then I printed them out and I assembled them as a collage. And then I made a big drawing. It's like six, what is it, like 92 inches long
Oh,
by,
really?
yeah, it's very long. And so it's
And
like,
that's
it's
in the,
kind of like calligraphy, the
uh-huh.
movement of the river.
Oh,
And
wow.
and I would love to do that more, but I just have to go get to Alaska. It's like one of my projects I have done over the years in different ways,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
that is there. And I did two versions. I did one in color, and I thought about how the up the up the mountain, which is the spring of the river, was this. I did that with springtime colors, and then in the
Um,
middle of the river, I made summer colors, and in the right side, I made fall colors.
huh.
So I
See,
made it
I
kind
never
of
have
try
that
to
kind
get
of logic. I never have such a clear logic as that in my work that, that makes you feel a certain, something's a spring color or a fall color. Somehow I
yeah,
just know.
that didn't come to me right away, but it evolved.
Uh-huh.
I kind of saw it there. And
Yeah.
in a way, the river I had photographed and I had the shapes, but then the colors I was really fooling around with.
Uh-huh.
So it became a more abstract, not that realistic. It's basically very highly intensively undulating, rounded shapes. Very
Uh-huh.
annoying to some people who like it straight edges, and this is very annoying. It's like a snake or something.
And that's in the Garnerville show now?
Yeah, that's in the Gardenville show.
Yeah. I have a piece in the Garnerville show too, but I can't even remember what it
Oh,
looks like.
I
It's so
hung
long
your
ago.
piece.
Oh, that's the same piece that I put in the gallery.
Yeah.
I put the
No,
same one in, yeah.
it hangs next to, I don't know, I forgot now who I hung it next to. But
All right. That's right, yeah. Huh.
yeah, I helped Melissa hang that show. I tried to be helpful. And so it was,
Yeah,
so it's kind of like a tradition I've always, and then I also helped James too.
yeah, yeah.
That
That must have been a hard show to hang because there's so many different kinds of work in that show.
right. Yeah. Well,
And
it's
so,
kind of it's kind of a mixed batch
yeah.
to be putting it nice. It's not really a selected
It's not a
show.
curated show.
It's not a curated show, so it is what it is.
Yes,
And there's some good stuff in it, definitely.
there's some good things, I'm sure. Yeah.
But it's great that everybody has a chance, whoever wants to participate. And I think
That is good.
that's a great
Yeah.
time. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what else.
Yeah. Well,
So I hope the Museum of Modern Art doesn't go under.
why do you think that would go under though? They must have a huge endowment, don't they?
I hope so.
Why that one in particular?
I have this doomsday feeling that things will disappear.
I have that feeling too. I'm worried about that with small businesses, but somehow the Met seems huge. It won't disappear.
The Museum of Modern Art, I was thinking.
I mean, the Museum of Modern MoMA seems so huge.
I know.
That I don't expect it to disappear.
Right.
But I worry about a lot of little businesses and galleries and things that are,
Right. And those were vital. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it won't last forever. I mean, not that much longer, but who knows?
I know.
I'm hoping that it gets warmer and maybe that will kill the thing. That it
Well, they
the
thought that might happen, but I don't know if they think that anymore.
Right. Well, it hasn't been warm yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know they do, I guess, yeah. Okay.
Well, we'll see. It's definitely a different world we're living in now.
Yeah.
It's good for studio time, but
then you're so distracted and agitated.
I know.
And irritated and nervous and anxious, all those things.
Right.
And then we have to eat a lot of chocolate and drink a whole bunch of coffee or drink
bunch of coffee
so that we forget everything and just become
definitely you have to eat a lot of chocolate.
Right. I don't know. So do you ever have to get more art supplies, or you have everything you need?
Well, the way I've been getting arts, I have quite a lot of art supplies.
Oh yeah, you can you get it, order it, and then it comes in the mail.
I needed paint, and so I ordered it from, I guess, from Blick or Amazon or someplace.
Right.
It came but that was a couple of weeks ago. Things aren't coming as quickly now. But I have a lot of paper and I have a lot of supplies.
Good. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I got sidetracked, and I've been making these face masks.
Oh, right.
And so I did that for the hospitals, and then I'm doing it for friends now. And so I did order some more fabric, so I can make more. And so for the art supplies, I'm pretty good, and I usually get my colors from Gera Paint and Pigment, and I better check in with them. It's a company on the Lower East Side, and I hope they are still in business.
Oh, I know that company. I've been on 13th Street. Yeah.
Yeah, and I buy the pure pigments, water dispersed pigments, and then I do well with the egg and the acrylic.
Right.
So I don't
They're
really.
still open. Do you think they're still open?
All I have to check on that.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, Blick is open, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, they're the empire. They're like the Amazon of the art world.
They are. I know. I know it. It's true.
They have taken it all. Yeah.
Well, tomorrow's supposed to be a beautiful day, so we can go in the yard and look at things, look at flowers and look at sticks. I have to pick up sticks to draw with.
Okay, sounds good. That should be fun.
Yeah. So tomorrow it's going to be
Good.
nice. I find that when the weather's bad, it's hard to be in so much. But when the weather's nice and you can go out and it's spring,
Right.
we're lucky.
The good thing is when the weather is bad, you can make cookies. And that's what I do. I didn't do it today, but I did it yesterday. And then I pass them around and it makes everybody happy.
Who do you give them to if you're not supposed to see anyone? Who do you give the cookies to?
Whoever I see.
But we're not seeing any people, are we?
Yeah, but I went to a friend's house and we always get together and we are good, all the three of us. It's a couple plus me. And then I put the cookies there, but we stay away from each other, but we do what we have to do. So otherwise, I'll just be totally alone, except with my two cats.
Yes, so you have to go see people.
Yeah, and then I go to Garnerville, and sometimes I run into Rick Johnson, my friend. So we do that, and sometimes he brings me wood for my fire.
That's good.
And I'm making the mask for him, and he's working on my house, and so I do. Those are the two, and then Donica and Steve. Those are the people I see. That's it.
Yeah. I see my family.
Yeah, that's great.
About it. No, we had some people over to our backyard for drinks. That was nice.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice to do.
Right. So I don't know. So what you've been watching on television? Now we're almost done.
We're almost done. I think we're done. We watched The Plot Against America.
Okay.
And we watched Ozark.
Okay.
And my daughter is watching, she's 25, she's never watched The Sopranos, so she's watching The Sopranos.
Oh, that's great.
And really, it holds up so well. It's incredible.
Great.
It really is.
Right.
What about you?
I'm watching The Queen.
Oh, yes.
It's all about Queen Elizabeth, the whole history of England. So it's interesting.
So it's a documentary.
No, it's a Netflix thing.
Oh, I see. Because there's so many things have come out about the royal family recently.
Right. No, it's really staged, I think.
Yeah.
It's a Netflix special history show. And so that's kind of interesting. So that's what I've been watching.
Yeah. And what else have I don't remember what we've watched really, but everything's blending into each other right now.
Right.
I just looked at a show that I sent to Marjorie, a really great show of Amy Silman. Do you know her? Yeah. That I saw online. So I look at work online.
Oh, that's a good idea. I should do that. Yeah. Not big on
I watched a really, really good documentary on Alice Neal. It was so good. Oh my Lord, it was so good.
Yeah, that's great. Okay,
yeah.
Good.
So anyway.
Okay, we're done.
I think we're done. I think I've done about. Marjorie went away. Marjorie disappeared.
Okay. All right.
So shall we click off and say goodbye, and we'll talk on the phone?
Goodbye.
Yes, okay. You can leave the meeting.
Okay.
But thank you so much, both of you, for doing this, and for having a conversation. It was very interesting. And and
It rambled, but it was fun.
that's okay. That's okay. That's what we're all thinking about. So yeah, so thank you very much. And
I always love talking to Ursula.
oh, good. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a good idea.
Same here. You have a sense of humor.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was a good idea, Marjorie.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll be
thank
putting
you.
a copy onto the